Welcome to the 2013 Amgen Tour of California for Bicycling.com. I'm Joe Lindsay. I'm joined by Frankie Andreu, and Frankie, today was, I think, arguably the Queen stage of the race, and it was absolutely horrendous conditions out there for the guys.
Well, Queen stage of the race for horrendous conditions. I don't know about course-wise, but this was definitely a very fast course, very hard course. In the beginning, the attacks just started off right away until the break was established. It was a little bit flatter, which the guys appreciated, but the heat, man, it just kept going up, and on that big climb before going into Palm Springs, everybody was just on the limit. I mean, guys were coming back. I gave out probably 35 water bottles in the first 10 minutes of the race. We were going through them like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the climb up to Mountain Center, it's a little cooler up there, but to get there, you got to do the climb. Long, fast descent, and then as they were coming up valleys through Palm Desert, as we drove in, there's big wind farms over there, and all the turbines are turning, so they're going straight into a headwind. It's like riding into a hairdryer, basically. And then they make a left turn on the tramway road, and it just goes straight up. It's unrelenting, it's straight, it's steep, there's no shade. Air temperature of about a little over 100 degrees, 105, something like that.
111 in the car is what I saw. And, you know, and the break went away, and Vasconcelos with the yellow jersey was riding tempo.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden there were other teams riding tempo, and I'm like thinking, you know what? There's BMC, who has an American, TJ Van Garderen, at the American race. There's Garmin with an American of Zabriskie at the American race. These are like the strongest teams, strongest riders here, and yet all these other teams, seriously, like 5 other teams, are all setting tempo and riding to get to the finish. And I'm like, you know what? They might be bluffing, but they're not bluffing because we know they're going to be going for it. You got to force their hand. But in the end, it was a totally different, not unexpected winner, but one from the smaller guys.
Yeah, it's nice to see a guy from the smaller team take a win on a stage like this. And Honey Azevedo is obviously a deserving winner of the stage. He put in an attack kind of midway up the climb, got brought back, sat in, did tempo, and went again. I think for me, MVP award goes to Matthias Frank of BMC. He just did an absolute mountain of work for TJ Van Garderen. And those guys, I think they really accomplished their goals today because they're looking at a landscape now. They know exactly who they have to watch. Yep. And TJ, being a very strong time trialist, he's got a hold on this race, but they don't have the lead. They don't have to defend it yet.
But I mean, this is tailor-made for Azevedo. I mean, he's the best climber in the race. It's one big mountain at the end. The other race is going to be a little more hilly, a little more difficult. It actually will fit into, as you said, TJ's abilities a bit better. So maybe, you know, for BMC, not having the yellow jersey right away, it's not a big problem. They know they can get it later on. But a tough race. And tomorrow, 110 miles, another long day. Santa Clarita to Palmdale.
Palmdale to Santa Clarita.
Palmdale to Santa Clarita, and it's up and down. It's not flat by any means.
It's going to be a little bit cooler today, but by a little bit, we mean highs in the low 90s instead of, around 105, 110. So these guys are going to get a little bit of a break, but not much. We're seeing a lot of guys coming across the line here right now. They're absolutely shattered, probably even more so than yesterday, despite the fact that teams seem to be more prepared for the heat today than yesterday. The twin effect of those 2 days, when you add in tomorrow with another 7,000 or 8,000 feet of climbing, this is going to be an absolutely stiff race.
It will be a stiff race.
Really amazing.
One side note, I saw there was a big crash kind of midway through with BMC, and Cantwell was in it. And a little bit later, I'd never seen this before, Cantwell was standing butt naked in the middle of the road, no jersey, no shorts on, just standing in cleats, putting on some new shorts and some new jerseys. So that's a good reason to have the spare clothing in the car, but I'd never seen that before.
That's a new one, yeah.
And he didn't even look torn up. It was just his clothing got the worst of the road.
Just decided he needed a fresh kit, I guess.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll come in handy for tomorrow. But I think Sagan will be on fire tomorrow, trying to make up for not having a win here yet. Cannondale will be ready for this.
So anyway, that's the wrap-up from Stage 2 of the Amgen Tour of California. I'm Joe Lindsay. This is Frankie Andreu. Thanks for joining us.